feels very natural.
We are live. We are late is what we are. Well, how is everyone? Tass is having some surprising internet difficulties. Ladies and gentlemen, Shane Tassoul. There you are. Are you going to stay with us this time?
Dude, I was on the computer and then you guys couldn't hear me. So then I jumped off the computer, jumped on my phone, canceled the one on the computer because I was getting massive feedback and it kicked me off both. So here I am.
Well, it's great to have you.
You as
Thanks
well.
for joining me.
You as well.
How's your weather going over there?
It's -2.
That's not bad.
No. T-shirt and short weather.
These guys set up new lights, so I'm going to need to do the show like this, if that's okay.
Okay, Stevie.
They just love their lights and their toys, but it's blinding me.
What, you guys get a ring light or what?
Oh my gosh, Mrs. Tippett. I am extremely sorry to hear that. That is horrible. Why are you on the show now? That is horrible news. Man, I'm sorry to hear that. So I'm sorry, Tass. Say it again.
I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, I think I might have said it was, I asked if you had a ring light.
I don't know what kind of lights these kids spend all our money on. I don't know what this is. They're nice. They're extremely bright. I can't see anything past the computer screen.
Did they powder you beforehand so you wouldn't shine?
No, but I feel like, I'm not too shiny today.
No, they're good.
Anyway, hey, should you charge a registration fee or an enrollment fee is the topic. We put Mrs. Tippett, if we can do anything, let us know. You know that. I mean, I've known you for, it's got to be almost 20 years. So it's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. Sorry to hear that. We put a post out there about should you or shouldn't you charge an enrollment fee or registration fee, and there were so many answers, and I hope some of those people are tuning in today, because some of the responses are negative responses based on the way people think and perceive. And what they need to understand, as you know this, Tass, is the martial arts is not all about making money, but it's a part of running a business. I mean, you got to make money. However, how can you make more money without charging any more to your customers or your clients? And if you understand what we're going to go over today, you may change your perception of how you enroll students. And we will explain that and we will go over that. But, people have to understand that you don't know what you don't know. You have to know that. You have to understand that there are things out there that maybe I don't understand it fully, or maybe people define certain things differently than the way I do or you do, right? And if you want to excel in anything, you must keep an open mind. All the martial artists in the world talk about, and they say it enough, be like Bruce Lee, empty your cup. But many of us don't. We don't empty our cup. Your cup is full. You think you know it. You think it's this way. And how do I know you think that way as an industry, right? Predominantly, there's a big majority of us, is because of the comments that people write when somebody says something or the way they do something in their school, some people will jump on board. Some people will politely say, oh, we do it this way. And some people will just bash it and be negative about it, which shows ignorance. I mean, it just shows ignorance. And the people doing that obviously don't realize that's what you're showing of yourself when you do that. But to the people that know the difference, and even if they don't agree with it, it shows ignorance when it becomes a negative, especially in our industry as martial artists. So if you want to pay attention today, I think we will make every single one of you more revenue in your school without increasing your tuition, without charging more, without doing anything. You just got to keep an open mind. And at the end of the day, if you don't agree, that's fine. But if you don't agree because of the way you think. Don't agree because it just makes more sense the way you do it, but not to you, to the masses, right? Because we create our own roadblocks. We do. We create our own obstacles sometimes, and then we project that as if that's a universal truth with everybody. And it's obviously not, because some of the most successful schools do it the way we teach it or do it a different way than you do it. So obviously it's not a universal truth, right? When people do things differently, and we don't have to bash each other because we do things differently. You learn, you understand, and then you make a good, educated decision on how you want to do business. But don't just come up with your own truth. So, Tass, should you charge? So right here. So this is good. So look, Mr. Haynes, we do not charge a sign-up fee. I struggle with this. I really need to charge an enrollment. Maybe, but I think we're going to help you all very much here and give you some insight. So, master, look, my master Laborio is tuning in, everybody. Master Ricardo Laborio.
How are you, sir?
Hey, just a reminder, Alib, next Wednesday, don't forget, bring my brown belt. All right, I'm waiting for the sarcastic response now from him.
Yeah, he'll bring it. Doesn't mean you're going to get it.
All right, so let's talk. Let's talk about it, Tass. So enrollment fee, should we charge an enrollment fee? Should we charge a registration fee? Just what's the yes or no answer? Should you charge an enrollment fee or a registration fee?
Dude, you're going to keep this so I can't talk, like yes or no. Like
no. Then I'm going to have you elaborate. But just should you charge an enrollment fee or registration fee?
Like an attorney question. No, you should not charge an enrollment or registration fee. There you go. You guys can all tune out.
By the way, here's the response. He was thinking about a demotion. He's going to bring my my pink belt, maybe. All right. All right. Okay, look. I have for 20 years, you guys must have my office. You must have my office bugged as I've been debating this for a couple weeks. Sir, do you keep your century order boxes? Do you keep the box in the office? Because what we started doing is planting bugs in all the boxes just so we can hear what the industry needs. Watch, Century's going to get in trouble. Not true, everybody. Not true. So, but anyway, okay, let's go. Let's talk about it. Tass, take it.
Yeah, man. Listen, here's the thing. If you charge, well, first of all, if you don't charge an enrollment or registration fee, number one, you're leaving money on the table, right? And I remember having the mentality of charging an enrollment fee. We called it an initial investment, right? That's what I called it back in the day. And I just thought it sounded better. And the reality is a lot of us have our businesses set up where we charge some sort of monthly tuition, and we charge some sort of enrollment, registration, starter fee, one-time setup fee, whatever you want to call it. There's names for all of it, right? But at the end of the day, when somebody comes in to enroll in your school and you charge this enrollment fee, and a lot of us will waive it because we like, well, hey, if you join today, we're gonna waive this fee. And first of all, if I asked you what the enrollment fee includes, a lot of you are going to give me answers that you think are good answers. But the reality is it's to get you in the system. It's, whatever it is, or it includes XYZ as far as equipment, which I would also say is a big mistake because you pay for that equipment, right? You pay for the equipment that you're supplying. So you can charge for the equipment. Your martial art tuition and your retail are two separate things. And this is where sometimes this line gets a little fuzzy because like, well, what should I do? What shouldn't I do? And we charge, and I remember seeing this years ago, Metz, and I'm not gonna lie. I mean, there are certain things the industry has been told about using the correct words: agreement versus contract, right? Investment versus payment, whatever. And there's a whole bunch of different buzz terms. So when we like our pricing, the way we have our pricing structure set, and it's a structure of different options to allow people to afford any option because we have a budget that fits anyone's option, right? But when I looked at it, I said, well, what's a down payment? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, this is not an industry term. It shouldn't be a down payment. It's because I didn't have a full understanding of what it was that we were doing, right? And when we talk about what we do, we sell a program. It's a tangible thing that they're purchasing. It's a block of time in this case that they're purchasing. So when we look at that and we say, okay, well, here's what this whole thing is. A down payment is simply a portion of the overall tuition that helps to reduce your monthly payments. So you could have any different down payment that you want to, and it will help reduce their tuition. So if, for example, I have something that's $1,000 and I charge a down payment of $100, well, now my monthly tuition is going to drop, right? If I charge $500 down payment, I'm going to be paying less per month. So it's important to understand, the difference between what is an enrollment fee, a registration fee, initial investment, so on and so forth, versus what is a down payment. An enrollment fee and a registration fee is typically, in most schools, it's a one-time fee that you charge in your school, and then you never charge that fee again. With a program, when you have a program or something physical, a block of time as example, you're paying for that particular thing. And when it comes time to renew, most all of you are either doing auto renews or, where it just keeps renewing at the same monthly rate. And again, you're leaving money on the table because you're not offering people the opportunity to purchase that program again. And what happens is you forego and you leave down payment, quote unquote, down payment dollars on the table. And I think that's important. Important distinction to make is an enrollment and registration, or whatever you call it, is a one-time fee, which oftentimes is not charged in the first place. And number two is when you have a program or a physical thing, you can charge for that down payment over and over. And the example that really sent this home to me and really made clarity in my head was, Metzger years ago had said to me, well, imagine your program is $1,200 for the year, and someone puts down $1,188 because they want their payment to be $1 per month. Well, at the end of 12 months or whatever.
Hold on, Pat. Just slow down so everyone follows the math here. So again, the program costs $1,200, right, which breaks down to $100 a month. I'm a school, I charge $100 a month. But somebody gets a tax return, let's say, and it's $1,188, and they're like, you know what? Can I just give you this and finance the rest? Well, their payment, that's $12 less than the program. Their payment would be $1 a month for the next 12 months.
Correct.
Okay. I just want to make sure everyone understands the math.
Right. So, and I think it's important sometimes to really exaggerate things so that you understand the concept, right? So at the end of the 12 months, when they want to continue, do we let them just continue for the $1 a month? Well, the answer, of course, is no, we don't do that, right? Why are they paying the $1 a month? Because they put down $1,188 of the $1,200 is the reason why. Now, if someone put down $600 on a 12-month program, their payment would just be the $50 a month. Well, in order to get that same payment next time, they would have to put down the $600 to get their $50 per month payment. So that's it, just so we understand in concept the difference between an enrollment fee and what a down payment is.
So let me just say this to everybody. I always thought, and I want to be blunt so you maybe remember this, I always thought a registration fee or an enrollment fee was just bullshit, was just a way for us to get more money. So I never liked an enrollment fee or a registration fee because 20 some years ago, 25, 30 years ago, good Lord, it'll be 30 years this year. It's crazy. People would say, well, you know, we charge a registration fee to get you set up, get you in the system. And I was like, but that doesn't make sense. That's really just nickel and diming, right? I don't like it. So listen, everyone, I want to elaborate on what Shane just.
Metz, I can't hear you. I don't know if it's you or me.
Hey guys,
Are we here? Are we back?
We are here. This is what happens when you disconnect the Ethernet cable. Hold on, here you go, Tass.
Tass. Hey, Tass.
I thought it was me.
No,
it's me. I was getting very serious and I pulled the computer to get closer to everybody and I disconnected the cable. I told you I can't see in here. Excuse me. So let's get back to it. Are we there? Are we live? Are we back? All right.
Dude, look at Levo's comment.
Oh, dude, didn't you see that earlier? I put it up on the screen.
Which one? Your internet is slow and deficient like your jiu-jitsu?
Oh, no. So, there it is. There it is. That's why I love Lee.
That's great.
But I'm glad he's talking about Mr. Metziger. I don't know who that is, but I'll put that comment up there. I'm glad he's not talking about me. All right, let's get back to business. You know what?
registration fees cover IT costs.
Oh, here, yeah. Hey, by the way, registration fees cover IT costs. That's true. Okay.
And because we don't charge those, we can't cover.
All right, guys. So let me help you. Pay attention to this. I'm going to elaborate on what Shane was saying. So follow me. What I was saying was, I never believed in registration fees and enrollment fees because I thought it was kind of a bullshit fee, right? I just didn't understand how we could just take money and say, well, it's to get you in the system, get you set up. And it's not a knock on any of you because I used to do it, but I stopped, and I don't like to just take information and run with it because some good speaker might have said it. I like to analyze it a little bit. And it just didn't make sense to me, right? However, I did need to make more money at the time, you know, going back when I first started school. So I was trying anything, right? Because if it worked for them, it can work for me, but I didn't like it. So here's the deal. Whatever you charge monthly, let me give you a tip, because I know there's a lot of us on here that just are definitely against terms, okay? Terms. But let's pretend for a minute that even if you don't like long-term contracts, I would implore you to at least get a 3-month commitment from your students, just 3 months, because if you have a term, you can put a price to that specific package that you're selling, meaning this is our basic starter program. This is our basic trial program. It's a 3-month program, or whatever you want to call it, our yellow belt program. It doesn't matter what you call it, but if you put a term to it, we can now put a price to it, meaning instead of saying I charge $100 a month, well, if you sold it in a 3-month package, just say it's $300, right? But we do 12-month programs. So let's just say you do 12-month programs and you charge $100 a month and you have an enrollment fee or a registration fee. Now follow me on the math here, because this is what's going to change your life if you can understand this, okay? So if you charge $108 a month, and I'm using this for the example. So let's just pretend, and it could be anything. You might charge $90 a month, but here's why I want to use 108. If I take $108.33 and I multiply that by 12 months, that's $1,300 for the year. But some of you would just say, well, it's $108. And by the way, when you enroll, you pay your first month. You know, you pay $108, that includes your first month and your uniform and everything else. And then it's just $108 a month, you know, for the next 11 months or whatever. What we would teach you to do is keep your program at $1,300 for the year, which is $108 a month. But now give your customers options like Shane was saying. So say, look, and it's important. We offer 3 ways you can do your monthly options. In this example, I could tell a customer, look, you could put $300 down. So I would take $1,300 minus $300, then divide that by 12. And then it's just, let me show you, $83 a month. You could do that, Mrs. Johnson, if you like that. Or you could do $200 down, and then your payment's just $91 a month. Or you could do $100 down and $100 a month, okay? Now, why is that so important? Because what you have to understand is if you sign up 10 students in January, you will not have those same 10 students by the end of December. You know that. There's no debate here. You're not retaining 100% of your students. It does not happen, right? But here's what happens. We want to retain, but people quit, people get bored, people move, people do whatever. Well, if you get $100 down and 6 months later, some students say, they just stop coming. They stop paying, let's say. COVID hits, they stop paying. You made more revenue in your company. Now, what we don't do, now for those of you who are saying, well, that's just not fair. Well, it is fair because in our case, we sell a 12-month package. So if somebody just stops coming, right, they still have 6 months they can come back to and finish out their program because they bought 12. If they stop paying, that's one thing. But remember, I got 300 down, 200 down, or 100 down, right? Now, here's the other thing about it, what he was saying too. At the end of the year, so let's say for all of you who charge a registration fee or an enrollment fee, you say, well, it's $100 to start and it's $80 a month or whatever. And let's say you do a contract or you do a term. Well, what do you do at the end of their term? You probably have either an automatic renewal where it just renews for the $80 a month, or you go to them and say, hey, your program is up. Just want to see if you want to continue. If you do, we'll keep your payment the same because you had an enrollment fee or registration fee. What we do is we say, hey, Mrs. Johnson, you know, your program is coming up for renewal. And I have good news. We have not raised the prices. So the program is still the same. Do you want to keep your monthly payment at the $100 or do you want it to go lower? What would you like to do on your renewal? Well, I want to keep it the same. No problem. It's just $100 down and that keeps the payment at 100. So how does that make sense? If we make the math easy, let's say you enroll 10 students every month. And I know some of you may enroll 2 students a month or 5, but let's say you enroll 10 students every month. And those 10 students do $100 down payment, not the 200. Let's do this. It's either $100 down, $200 down, or $300 down, because everybody likes to budget their finances differently. Some people like to have a lower monthly payment, so they want to put a little bit more down. for those Dave Ramsey fans out there, right? A lot of people like to pay cash or just bring their payments down real low. Well, so some choose 100, some choose 2, some choose 3. Let's say it averages to $200 down. You enroll 10 people in January. You just did $2,000 in down payment money. Yes, that brings down the monthly. Remember, your fees are the same. But let's pretend for math purposes, you don't lose anybody. Everyone stays. So next January, you still enroll 10 people. You do $2,000 in down payments, and you renew the 10 from a year ago. That's another $2,000 in down payments. Now you just got $4,000 in down payments that month because we charge it as a program as opposed to a membership monthly fee. And if you can wrap your head around this, and again, charge whatever you want to charge. If you charge $80 a month, great. Just do $80 times some kind of term, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, come up with the total price and put in down payment money, because upfront money will make you more revenue in your school and it will retain your students longer. Why will it retain students longer, Tass? How does a down payment retain a student longer?
There's a saying that is, the more they pay, the longer they stay. And that's not only a saying, but that's actual fact, because we've looked at that and we've compared people, for example, who have paid in full versus people who pay monthly, right? And so the more somebody invests into something, look, if I'm going to go play golf and I buy a brand new set of golf clubs, a new golf club, a new golf cart, a new this, a new that, chances are I'm going to go play golf. I'm not going to go spend $1,000 or $2,000 and then go play golf one time, right? And not saying that doesn't happen, but I will tell you, as a whole, right, as an average, people who pay more stay more, and that's important for you guys to understand. And so if we can compress this intensity where we're collecting money sooner, it's in everybody's best interest, because number one, as a school, you're getting more revenue. And number two, statistically, we know this, those people stay longer, and everybody on here may not be on board with the, well, I don't want to, it's not about the money. It's not about the money. But if it's not about the money, then make it about the retention. And we can statistically show you that people who pay more stay more. So I think that's, a real important piece to understand. And I see a question on here, Metz, when do they charge the first monthly tuition payment? And so you guys got to understand, this is a concept. It's a concept for you guys to understand. It's something we do in our schools every single day. But please understand that we can't give you everything that you need to know about this, because we'd be on here for 3 hours trying to give you everything you know about pricing structure. But when you do this, when we take a down payment, because we want to remember, the idea is to make it easy to enroll, right? Now, some of you people that do month to month are going to say, well, that's why we do a registration fee and then we waive the registration fee. That's fine. But I have news for you. You will never, ever get rich, or let me say it better. You'll never maximize your school by having just a billing check. It's just not going to happen. You always will be able to do better by having down payments and different options for people to choose in your school, period. Regardless, right? So we got to look at that. Now, when somebody enrolls, someone comes in today, and we use Metzger's example of the $100, $200, $300 down. They say, yeah, you know what? I want my payment at $83 a month or whatever it was. Here's my $300. Fantastic, Mrs. Smith. That's, look, we make it easy for you to pay your monthly tuition as well. So your first payment, we can either push out to the 25th or the 30th, which works best for you. Or in this case, it'd be the 25th or the 1st, right? And what I'm doing is mentally, I'm just forecasting about 10 to 14 days out from now. Because if I require them to put the $300 down plus the 80 down, that gets to be a bigger barrier for them to get over, because they have to put down a bigger chunk of money today. So we always will charge the down payment today, and then sometime in the next 14, 15 days, whatever, ideally, we're going to charge the monthly tuition, but we make it easy for them. And we say, look, and you could even say this. I know, people get paid on different days. Would the 15th or would the 20th of the month work best for you? And they're like, actually the 20th of the month would work better for me. Fantastic. And then that's what we do. And that's how we get these people onto their monthly, tuition plan. Now, Some of you are going to really dive into this and you're going to say, well, yeah, but it just doesn't match up because if they stay for the 12 months, their last payment is going to happen after their program expires. You're right. The last program the payment will happen after the program expires. But if you have other internal systems in place, for example, the renewal process and the renewal system and or an upgrade process or upgrade system, those are how we overcome those things, and it's not an issue. So I just want to be very clear about that. And it makes the enrollment process way, way easier and streamlines that. So a lot of you, like Metzger said earlier, you do the first payment and then their next payment isn't due until the following month. That also kills your cash flow because here we are sitting, whatever the date is, February 11th today. So if I forecast out and someone pays me $300 down and you're a school that charges $100 a month flat, you're going to collect your $100 today. And next month on the 11th, you're going to collect another $100. So you made $100 in the month of February. But for us, because we offer options, they're going to put the $300 down in this example today. And 2 weeks from now, again in February, we're going to collect another $80. So we've collected $380 in the same time frame that you've collected $100. So this is very common for people when they move to this to see their enrollment revenue jump 3 and 4 times what they're normally doing. And it makes a huge, huge impact in the school.
Now, there's a lot of great questions here. I hope some of you that have an open mind understand this concept because it's not an opinion. You're going to generate more revenue in your school doing this. But I'm also going to just tell you, if you think you're getting value out of this little Metz Tassoul show, and I say it all the time because we have an obligation to Maya, right? Go to mayafoundations.com. It's 4 calls, but they are an hour and a half because how long did we do pricing structure? Almost 2 hours on the one call for Maya Foundations. Yeah. It's only 4 calls. And I'm going to answer these questions here, but I'm telling you how much we can help you all very much because there's so much detail and presentation is key that we're giving you the information, but we can't go out and give you, we wouldn't have time. We just can't do it. Plus it's not fair to anyone who signed up for the foundations, which again is just 4 phone calls. It's 2 months, but you need to understand the pricing structure. You need to understand class schedules. You need to understand upgrade programs, which upgrade programs is another term, just like down payment registration fee. People that really don't understand will just bash. We don't do upgrades. We don't believe in upgrades. What do you mean you don't believe in upgrades? Every business on the planet Earth does upgrades. You participate in upgrades as a customer and you don't think twice about it and you're not bothered by it. There are upgrades in everything. The computer that I'm on, I can buy an upgraded version if I choose to. And I'm not upset.
Which locks in the Ethernet cable so it won't disconnect.
Exactly, which we will upgrade to that cable after I get off this broadcast. But my point is it's just another, political or debatable term in our industry. And then mass enrollments. So there's 4 topics we cover in extreme detail. Now,
Metz, let me
by the way, let me answer the question here. We don't prorate the first month. It's 12 months from the date you sign up, right? And there's 12 payments. Remember, it's 12 months of training, and this is the cost. That cost is whatever you charge. If you charge $100 a month, over 12 months, you're going to get 12 months of training for $1,200. Just because I get a down payment, it doesn't matter. You're still going to pay the $1,200 for the 12 months of training. You may get 2 weeks free in there, like a 2-week buffer, like he was saying, that 10 to 14 days, because we pushed that out. Go ahead, Tass.
Well, the other thing, and I'm taking a shot in the dark here, but the reason they'll prorate a lot of times is because a lot of people I know only will do their billing on the first of the month. And so they want to prorate it so they get everyone to bill on the first of the month as an example. Well, that's a mistake in your business because that's not how your business operates. If McDonald's took in all their revenue on day 1 of the month and didn't do any revenue for the rest of the month, they'll have a cash flow problem. So I would encourage you, and not that you need to take it in every day. We typically do increments of 5, the 5th, the 10th, the 15th, the 5th. Those are the billing dates for us. So every 5th, every 10th, every 15th, 25th, we have revenue that's coming into our school, which is great for cash flow. Somebody had the question on here about and the questions are scrolling, so I can't see them. Oh, it was something to do with options, giving options. How many options do you give? And I wanted to take that one because Metz and I have a lot of similarities, and one of the similarities is we grew up in the health club industry, right? Or we're part of the health club industry. And so in the health club industry, as a fitness consultant, salesperson, we sold like 3 or 4 different packages. So we had the bronze, the silver, the gold, the platinum, whatever it was. Well, the difference is the bronze was, here's your monthly membership. The silver was, here's your monthly membership, and you get towel service. Every time you get to come in, you get a towel. The gold was, it includes unlimited tanning. And then the next one was the VIP locker room. So the challenge is that we were offering 4 completely different services. And when the consumer looks at that, they're not sure what service they want to do. So that can cause confusion and could cause them to take their time and not want to make a decision, which, by the way, the first time I saw our pricing structure that we use now, right, the Maya pricing structure, there was 4 options. And I was a skeptic. I said, there's no way this is going to work. There's too many options for people to choose from. And then I had an aha moment because I realized this is way different than health club sales, right? And I say health club sales. And the reason it's different is because there's only one product, and that is your program, but there are 4 different ways that you can pay for it. And so I learned very quickly that having 4 options does not cause confusion. It actually helps people make the decision because we have an option that fits anyone's budget. So I think there's some important clarity on that as well.
And by the way, there's a right way and a wrong way to present that, right?
Yes.
We're giving you the concept and the knowledge to understand the why. But again, it just, we'd be going into a seminar format here. And if you really want to, if you think that we can help you, if you need it, and some of you understand the concept and you can just run with it. I always want to give you free information that you can take and run with it. But there's so much information, and we give you a workbook and a whatever you call it for founder. I mean, there's just a lot of work involved with what it is for Maya, but we want to help you. So understand that. Is there an incentive to discount? Now, this is an interesting question because here's the other thing everybody does. Pay attention to this one. How many of you walked in and did a free trial dance class? Well, only the ones that are interested in dance, right? How many of you went in and did a free gymnastics class? Only the ones of you that are interested in gymnastics. Nobody's going to come into your martial arts school and do a trial or a class unless they're interested in enrolling in martial arts. Why do we feel the need that we just got to discount it? If you sign up today, the first day, we're going to discount the program. Why? Well, because it's in your head. You think you need to do that to get the enrollment, and you do not. You do not need to do that to get the enrollment. There's times where we would do that, but we do not do that. If somebody calls and says, I'm interested in classes, we set up an appointment, they come in, the price is the price. If you do what we're telling you, right, and they have a price objection, you can ask, well, let me ask you this. Is it the down payment or is it the monthly? Well, it's the $100 a month. Okay, how's $80 a month? Well, that works, but I don't have $300 right now to put down. Look, if $80 a month really works for your budget, why don't you just put half down right now and in a couple weeks put the other half down, but this way it'll lock you into a price that you feel comfortable with. I can work with people, but I can treat everyone equally, all of my customers equally. Everyone gets the same options and the same opportunity. But do not just discount your program just to discount your program because you feel that's what you need to do to get an enrollment. And there's details on that, but that's the answer. Now look, let's see. Mr. Kevin, as soon as we changed our structure to this, it took our business to the next level. Maya teaches you to sit down with a client, learn who they are, ask them the appropriate questions, teach them how to sell themselves on the program in 4 steps. Yeah, I think we do. I think we absolutely do that. Now, how do you adapt family payments, and do you increase downs as well? Whatever your family plan is, it is. I will tell you that because of working with so many schools one-on-one, the majority of you just picked a random family plan to do, which not necessarily makes sense for your school. But we're not going to go into all the family plan stuff either. It's just, like I said, this could be an 8-hour seminar. But whatever your family plan is, if you charge $80 a month for the first person or the first two, and then the third and fourth get discounts or something, and 2 family members enroll, the down payment is exactly the same because it's a down payment on the program. So if you charge the same amount if you did 10% off, well, then take 10% off the program, but the down payment should stay the same for cash flow, if that makes sense. Do you think that makes sense?
Yeah, just for clarity, guys. I mean, if in this example he's giving, right? If you had 2 people enroll, and your program is whatever we said, $12 or the $108, $1,300. Person 1 puts down their 100 to make the 108 payment, and person 2 put their $100 to make the $108 a month payment. So whatever the down payment is, it's yes. I say it's times 2 just for you guys. It's not how you present it to your people because that sounds expensive. Okay.
Yeah, there was another thing in here, but here's the great thing about this, everybody. Here's the great thing about what you're learning today. If it makes sense to you. Now listen, if it doesn't make sense to you, give us a call and tell us why it doesn't make sense to you. We'll probably have an answer. And if it still doesn't feel right to you, that's okay. That's fine, right? But what's great about this is no matter what you've been doing, whether it's been in business for a week or 25 years, starting today, you could start doing this with the next new student that enrolls, starting right now today, right? So we do offer 4 options. We have a paid in full option and 3 monthly options. That's what we offer. And I just saw somebody, so look, I think I need to raise my prices. Keep getting paid in fulls lately, which is a whole different topic because that's another thing that scares people. I don't like getting too many paid in fulls because then your billing goes down. Do you understand that if you get a paid in full and put it in a bank account, you are your own billing company? You could put it in a business savings account and you could draw on it every month if you want. The people that don't like paid in fulls are the people that spend it all. And then their business collapses because they didn't enroll any more students and they have no more revenue coming in. Paid in fulls are not bad. It's your spending habits and discipline of budgeting that's bad. You have to understand this stuff. Go ahead, Tass.
And listen, I was there. I mean, years and years and years ago, right? I was consulted, not through Maya, by the way, but I was consulted. You don't cash out people, you cash out programs, and there's always another program. And the problem is that's 1R, that's the revenue. But you got to understand the retention part. You got to understand the recruitment part to replace those people. And yes, you need the discipline part. You need a separate bank account. There's all those things that go with that. So, this is a whole system. And I was talking to somebody yesterday, and the question basically was this: is like, what other services are out there for consulting? And there's a lot of different services. And I see people. I said the thing is whoever you decide to go with that particular person or that company and stay with them, because too many people will jump on the Metz Tassoul Show, then they'll go over to somebody else's deal, and then somebody else's, and they're picking and pulling and choosing what they want, and don't understand that everything is a system and works together. And as great as this may sound, there's a lot of other moving parts that go along with this that really will help raise your school even to the next level. So I think it's important, whatever you do, understand there's underlying systems that go along with, whatever those programs are.
And Mr. Zohar, is there a specific reason for 4 monthly options rather than a simpler 3? And it's interesting. So this is a great question, but I just want to use this question as an example too, right? Because right off the bat, in your mind, in his mind, and by the way, this was in my mind 20 years ago, he didn't say, is there a specific reason for 4 monthly options rather than 3? He said, rather than a simpler 3. And I would say, well, why do you think that's simpler? 3, right? Because it's not simpler. It's how you can make 3 confusing, just like you can make 4. You can make 4 very easy. And yes, there is a reason. There is a reason. And if you look back, there's probably an article out there from 15, 20 years ago where I used to do 3. I did offer 3. And I realized, studying the numbers and the stats and everything else, I said, man, I think I need 4, a paid in full option and 3 monthly options. And there is a reason there. Here's the other thing I want to explain to you. And Tash, you said it best because you looked at your numbers too. Some people do the 4 and then they get rid of option C. They get rid of option C.
Right.
Like we have A, B, C, and D. A is a paid in full option, and we have 3 monthly options, B, C, or D. Well, people will tell us every so often, nobody chooses C. Nobody chooses C. So I got rid of C. And they're missing the point of what C is there for. But here's the other thing I want you to understand. If you charge right now an enrollment fee or a registration fee or even a down payment, and you only offer 1 option or 2, let's say a paid in full or a monthly, right? And somebody comes in and you say it's $100 down and $100 a month or whatever. The problem is that can sound very expensive to a parent or to somebody that's never been in martial arts because they have nothing to compare that $100 to. They compare it to baseball or soccer or swimming or whatever. They're like, man, 100 down and 100 a month, that's a lot. That's a lot. There's a psychology in the way we present this, where we present the paid in full option first, which is, in our example, $1,300. So people are like shocked, right? Like, wow, that's a lot. But look, you don't have to do that. You could start today for just $300 and $80 a month. Or if you want to go lower, you could do $200 and $91 a month. Or if you want to start today with the least amount down, you could do $100 down and $100 a month. Which would work better for you? Well, that $200 down option drives people up 1 or down 1. It's a driver. And now they're not comparing the $100 down payment to soccer and everything else. They're comparing that to the $1,400 or the $1,300 that they thought was the way to sign up. And then it's a relief to hear that I could start with 300, 200, or 100. People that don't have a lot might say, you know what? Well, I know this. It's not what they say. I'm telling you, this is what they say. I definitely got to do the $100 down one because it's like so much less. And like, those are your options. And now there's not a lot of haggling going on. It's like, okay, I need to choose that option with the $100 down and the 100 a month. That'll work great for me. There's so much to this. I wish all of you would just sign up for Maya Foundation so we can spend the 2 hours, which is recorded, and you can get the workbook and our pricing structure. But if you don't, we'll be here every week and we're going to give you concepts, but it's presentation. So that's there is a reason. And then here, this is interesting. So Task, the question, if you can't see it, is, aren't you leaving a lot of money on the table by discounting multiple family members? We used to do that until we discontinued it and saw how much it changed our billing level each month.
Yeah. So there's 2 parts to that, right? So how much it changed your billing level. And listen, I think, it's important to have a solid billing check, but a billing check for us represents 50% or less of our total overall revenue for the month. So I get the first question, if you look at your monthly revenue and how much of that's coming from billing, well, if billing represents, and we see this a lot, 80, 90% of your total revenue for the month, then we've got some internal system problems that are happening, number one. Number 2 is, the answer is it depends, which is why Metz said we're not going to go into family plans, because everybody on here has a different school, right? So, for example, Mr. Wilford, if I went through this and said, okay, I want you to just take all of your students, write down how many single members, how many second members, how many third, how many fourth, then I could give you a better idea of, are you leaving a lot of money on the table? Because in our case, we do regular tuition for the first 2 people, and everybody else trains in the basic program for free. Well, there's a reason why we do that. But if you're a school where you've got a whole bunch of third and fourth family members, then that would not be the right pricing structure for you. So it's based on a case-by-case basis. But I would tell you that, from a billing perspective, I've seen a lot of people do this, by the way. Like, we're charging full freight for everybody now. And it's just, that's great. But if you have a light, if you're a kid's school, as an example, we know statistically parents get their kids started and they're not starting themselves. So when we can get the parents to join in for free, they still go on the agreement. What's going to happen? Our retention is better. They stay longer. There's more testing fees from those parents. When the kids don't feel like going, the parents say, we got to go. When the parents don't feel like going, the kids say, we want to go. So there's a lot of reasons to do it. But, if I was working with you one-on-one, I'd say, hey, look, give me all your single, second, third, fourth, fifth family members, and then let's look at it and decide what is the right family program. And again, that's why Metzger said earlier, each individual school, it depends. But as a whole, we find that typically there's not a lot of third and fourth family members that are attending classes. So why not pick up those third and fourth members, especially if you're a kid's school? By the way, this works with adults too, but especially if you're a kid's school, so that you can fill up your evening classes with your teens and adults, and you can also start, making revenue from special events, testing fees, and that's a whole nother topic, I guess.
And by the way, for those of you who say we have a lot of 3 and 4 family members, don't guess. Go through your entire roster, and I don't know if you said this. Perry was talking. Find out how many singles. Did you mention all this?
Of course, I did.
Okay, good, very good. But also, here's a little test for you guys. What you learned on this today, right, teaches you how to generate revenue other than your billing, right? Other than your billing. So when we chart with our family plan, what made sense to us was what he was saying. The first 2 family members pay full price, all additional are free. But at the end of the day, all of our free family members still have over a $200 a month value to our school. As a whole, I know that I don't know what it was last year. I didn't do it. The year before, we charge $149 a month of our basic program. That's kind of our option D, $149. However, between all of our schools for the year, we averaged over $205 a month per student in the schools, and that includes the free family members. This is why Tass said it earlier, that if you're just relying on your billing money, it doesn't matter if that billing check's $100,000 a month. You're not maximizing the revenue of your school by the other systems that you can offer in your school. Not forcing anybody, but just offering different programs, let's say, and the way you charge people. Even, I want to keep saying this, even if you don't want to raise your rate, whatever you charge it. Just incorporate down payments, get more money up front where it'll lower their monthly payment. It's the same amount of money they're going to spend with you for whatever that term is.
And since you're on the sexy topic of stats, I will tell you guys, the other homework assignment is literally go back and look at how much revenue are you generating from billing. And if it's more than 50%, if your billing check is more than 50% of your overall revenue for the month, you're leaving money on the table. Last year as a company, our billing check represented 35% of our entire gross revenue, just to give you an idea. So 65% of our revenue was generated outside of our billing check, which is very important. So if you're generating 50% or more from your billing check, there's a lot of room for improvement in the revenue department in your school.
Hey, I listen. Everybody's afraid of sales. I'm telling you, sign up for foundations, Maya Foundations, so we can 10 times your business with 4 phone calls, with 4 Zooms. I just know how much we can help. I don't own Maya, by the way, guys. Century Martial Arts owns Maya. It's not like I can just give it everybody free, because there's a lot of people behind the scenes that put a lot of work into this. They should charge for this. But I'm telling you, we can help you guys with these questions that are coming in. Real quick, here's another question. I may have missed this, but is the paid in full option discounted? Yes, it is. And so are the second and third option as well. They are discounted as well. There's a discount for a paid in full. There's a discount if you put more money down. There's a lesser discount if you put less money down. And there is no discount if you start with the least amount down. And there's logic and reasons and presentation on that. And for those of you out there that offer a discount for a paid in full, here's my question that I always ask, and it never fails me. I ask this question: do you offer a paid in full in your school? A lot of people say yes. I ask, what's your discount? They tell me. My next question is, well, why is it that? Why isn't it this? Why isn't it this? Why is it that? And nobody has an answer. Some people think they have the right answer. They say, well, because we don't want to give away a lot of money, or we don't want to leave money on the table, so we're only doing this, or we don't want a lot of people to pay. It's not a real answer. It's an answer that you just came up with or heard some speaker say. There's a right discount and a wrong discount, and it is not one size fits all. It's dependent upon your school. And it's not arguing. There's no debating this. Your numbers and how long your average student lasts that you enroll and everything else. There's a lot of stuff you got to look at. And then I'll tell you what you should discount to where you will never lose money, but you're going to generate a lot more revenue for yourself and help
the
your
other
customers.
Metz, the other thing I see on the paid in full thing is, well, I'm not going to give that money away. So instead of giving 25% off, I'm going to give them 25% more time on their program. And I'll never forget, I was working with a school, 500, 600 students, I forget. I said, give me all your students and tell me what payment option they're on. Out of 500 or 600 students, they had it was less than 5 people that paid in full to get the extra 3 months. So there is, conceptually, you may go, oh my God, that's a great idea. I'm going to get the full amount for my 12 months. They're going to get 14 months of training. But it doesn't work, right? And again, not that it doesn't work, but you're never going to maximize your success doing that. So sometimes these ideas sound great, but when I'm dealing with schools that have, this was an example with 500 students or 600 students and less than 5 people were on this program, it's proof. It does not work as good as discounting your program. And again, there's logic and there's reasons, science behind everything that we do. And listen, dude, it's been an hour, right? I mean, we get so passionate about this and want to give you guys all the information. And I'll just say it, as far as foundations, I will tell you that you'll 10 times your money in the next 3 months, 2 months. Some of you will do it in the first month if you just take action. And this right now may sound complicated because we're giving you guys lots of numbers. We know the system. You can't see everything laid out. But this is the reason in my foundations for the handbook, the done for you sheets, you plug in your numbers, literally you can be up and running with it, and it will change your life. And if you never did foundations again, you will have these 4 systems in your school forever that will continue to produce results after results after results after results. And that's the promise I can make you guys. And looking back, because I'm on the other side, right? So I know how it can affect people's schools, not just how it's affected my school, but also how it's affected all the clients that we've worked with. And some of them are giving their responses here in the comments. Will make a drastic difference in your school. Drastic.
And if you guys watch us every week, I'll always joke and always, not every show, not even every show do I bring up Maya Foundations or Maya Elite. But when I see the questions that are coming in here, please try out Maya Foundations, please, because you guys, you just don't know what you don't know. And I'm going to answer it real quick here. Yes, Mr. McGraw, let's answer your question first. I have varied rates depending on age group. Suggestions for how to prevent the 2 paid members being the kids on the lowest rate and the later enrolled parents being the free members. Yes, just like when you go to a restaurant, if they say, if you buy 1 meal, you get the second one free of equal or lesser value, you always pay for the highest meal. The cheaper meal will be the free one. It's the same thing here. And you just explain that the highest paid, program are the paying members. The other great thing about having parents on there is this. This is another big thing that people miss. Just because 3rd and 4th family members can train free in our basic program, it's not for life, by the way, but just because they train free, they still have to go on the program and they are making the commitment the same as their kids are or whoever signed up. They're committed. So if little Johnny and Sarah quit because soccer started, the parents know going in that they are now the paying members. And they are committed. They are committed on this program. So your money never changes. They we
Uh-oh.
Sir, click on mayafoundations.com because you're not alone on this. But question, do you separate costs for 2, 3, 4 unlimited classes per week? Or is it a flat rate, come as many classes as you wish? Task, go ahead.
No, we don't do that. And some people do. And that's a health club model. And that's not what we do. And there's reasons why.
and we can help you for that. Here's another one. I almost tripled my revenue in the first year with my students and parents are happier. And sir, you know, that's a good point, because a lot of people think that when we talk about generating money, that we're nickel and diming or we're doing this. And I remember, sir, I remember when you were here and you took the leap and you joined Maya. And that's important for everyone here to understand, that your students and parents aren't going to be nickel and dimed. You know what I mean? And they're happier, and it's just easier. I mean, there's just so much here. I'd love to work with every one of you guys. And all right, I'll answer this one, Mr. Kevin here. What discount do you do for BBC? The first 2 family members pay full price. Any additional family members pay the difference between our basic and our Black Belt Club program. Third and fourth family members now pay $25 a month to be in that program. And there's a lot to do that, because if I heard somebody say that, I'd be like, well, that's just ridiculous. They're taking a spot on the floor. They're only paying $25 a month. It's this. Just remember what I said earlier, that even our free family members or our $25 a month family members are still worth over $200 a month to me with the way we do business. So to me, it doesn't matter. And retention is stronger, because one of those little funny sayings in our business, families that kick together, stick together, it's absolutely true. If you have a family training and they're all training, retention is stronger. It's just stronger. So if I can get a family training and still generate that kind of value and my retention is higher, it's great. Now, what will happen is if people don't understand how to do that, you're going to hear, because maybe we were passionate and we really clicked with you, and you're going to say, I'm going to do that. Free family members, $25 a month. And that can really hurt your business if you don't understand all the other pieces that go along with that. And that's where other people bash this, is because they just don't understand all the other pieces that go along with it. They just say, why would you take a spot on your floor with somebody not paying you anything, or paying just $25 more? Like, why would you do that? Well, they don't know, but because they don't know doesn't mean it's wrong. They don't know. So anyway,
Metz, two last things for me, man. Listen, if you want to know if you're a good candidate for foundations, literally go back and look at your numbers and just determine how much revenue are you generating from billing. If it's 50% or more of your revenue is coming from billing, you are a great candidate for foundations, number one. Number two, take your total student count. Take your total student count. Let me reverse that. Take your gross revenue, your average gross revenue that you do every month. And I want you to divide that by the number of students that you have. Okay. So for example, if you have 100 students, $10,000 in gross, and you have 100 students, 10,000 divided by the 100 students, it's going to give you $100 student value per month. If you are less than $185, first, what I want you to do is multiply your student count times 185 to see what the difference is in what you'd be making in your school. But if you take that gross revenue, the 10,000 divided by the 100 students in this example, and it's less than $185 a month, you are a great candidate for Maya Foundations, because we will drive your revenue up in your school and your student value. And
by the way, it doesn't, you could be charging $100 a month. That has nothing to do with this. Right. So, anyway, you know, even if you guys have been through any of our Maya programs, we came up with foundations for everybody, just as a refresher, because there's 4 key things that every martial arts school should have to build on that. Your foundation. And again, that's a class schedule, which, by the way, like pricing, most of us don't know how to do a class schedule. We don't know how to do it. You think you do, but you don't. Not for retention and revenue. You don't. Most of us don't. Class schedule, the way you charge, how to enroll a big group of people at one time, and upgrades, and understanding our definition of an upgrade. and how we do an upgrade and how we don't force upgrades. It's just there for whoever wants it. But it's crazy that all of our schools, as individual schools, all of them, have over 80% of our clients that choose to upgrade. But they choose to. They don't have to. They'll get a black belt if they don't upgrade. But how? And how does the value to the client, how does that relate to value to the client where they're so happy because it's such a great deal, but it adds so much revenue to our business? It's a win-win. It's a win-win. I mean, so, and how about zero numbers because I'm not open yet? This is great stuff, gents. I always appreciate these. Well, we can help you with that too. Anyway, does anyone have any other questions before we, go off into the sunset?
Shane, come back, Shane.
Well, thank you guys. For those of you who are giving us compliments, we really appreciate it. We are happy to help. We know that there's people behind their computers that can't stand us. We know there's people behind their computers that think we're just all about the money or we're doing it wrong. We know that, but we do appreciate the ones that have an open mind and understand that that's not the case, that we're about the customer, we're about the quality, but we're also about getting rich and making money to pay our people well and have options in life. We're about all of that. And that goes for the instructor, that goes for the program director, that goes for the person that mat. I just had a breakfast meeting this morning with some of my staff, and I said, we made a promise to our people, and I want to take them to the highest level possible in their career, period. And that's our promise, and that's what I'm set out to do. But at the same time, I want to have the highest quality martial arts. It was funny. Somebody put a comment on something saying we do McDonald's martial art. Not we, just the consultants or something. Guys, when somebody posts that, just comment for me and say, when's the last time you took a class at their school? When's the last time you went to their school? The answer will be never. They'll just put it out there that because we're successful, we must teach piss poor quality martial arts. I mean, it's like I try to understand what some of these people are thinking, and people are just wanting to be negative just to be negative. We laugh at that usually. My guys always talk me down because I actually said, and I think I mentioned it to you, whoever posted that, I told them to reach out to them. One of my IT people deleted the comment. And then I tried to search for the person. I couldn't find them. But I wanted to invite them on the show. Didn't I tell you that? Did I tell you?
I saw the original comment. Yeah.
So I wanted to invite them on the show just to get their perspective of things and how well they know my students, and the fact that, I have students that are in Jackie Chan movies and also touring and 7-time world champions in NASCA and also full contact, champions. I mean, but as a whole, most people don't want that, right? They want to have exercise, discipline, confidence, but there's different paths you can take in martial arts, but I'd love to talk to those people. So, and let's see. Thank you guys. Thank you. And learned a lot since joining my elite. Thank you guys. Thank you, Mr. Rivera. Hey guys, thank you. Go have a great one. Now listen, next week, we're going to come at you live from our wealth event here in Orlando, Florida. We have our My Elite seminar and our wealth seminar. So Tass and I will come at 3 Eastern time, and we'll just give you a sneak peek of the wealth seminar, talk to you a little bit about what's going on and what we're doing. So reach out to us. Try Maya Foundations, guys. 4 calls, 2 months. 2 months of programs. It's 2 calls 1 month, 2 calls the next month. And then, by the way, I said this to Maya. Anybody that goes through Maya Foundations, if you didn't get it all, I said, do not charge them again to do the course again. So you could do it again live, not recordings. You could take it again just to make sure you get all the information at no cost. Once you sign up once, you could do it again. And that's interactive. That's a Zoom interactive where you can ask questions live and we can really make sure you understand everything. So there you go. that is it. And Tass, any parting words?
No, sir. I have to jump off and jump on a client call, make them some money.
There you go. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Take care.
All right.
Bye
See you
bye.
guys. Bye.